Hi all, welcome to the channel. My name is Shiva and I will be teaching you guys about the visual scripting module that is being used in Unity. During this series, I'll try to cover the most common nodes/functions that you can use for creating a simple 2D game. Before we start with the first tutorial, there's one thing that you guys need to make sure, and that's that I will be using Unity's version 2021 or further or later because visual scripting is already included or available in those versions and it will not be available on the earlier releases. So for example, the visual scripting will not be available in the 2020 release. So we need to make sure that we are using 2021 so that we are on the same page. If for some reason you guys want to continue with the previous version of Unity, then you need to import one package called as Bolt in order to make use of the visual scripting module. Okay, so that's that. So in our first tutorial, in this video, we'll be talking about the basic player movement, that is moving the player left, right, or making it jump. Okay, so that's that for the intro. So now let's get started. So hi all, welcome back. So in this video, we'll be talking about how we can move a game object left, right, or make it jump by only using visual scripting and not writing a single line of code. Over here, I have already set up a sample scene which consists of two new game objects. The first one is the ground, this one. I have added the box collider 2D component to this game object. So box collider 2D is a collider that interacts with the Unity's 2D physics system. This is the shape of a rectangle, as you can see. This. Moving on to the player game object. I have again added box collider 2D as well as rigid body to it. So through rigid body, if we are adding a rigid body component to our object, then it is being granted or provided to the physics engine that is being used within Unity. So because for moving our game object left, right, or for making it jump, we have to use rigid body only. This one we'll talk about later. I'll just remove it. Now, the main thing. How can we move a game object from visual scripting? So for that thing, what we need to do is we need to add a new component called as script machine. Once we click on it, there are two options in the source. The first one is embed, second one is graph. If we select embed, then it will only be used for this game object. But if we'll select a graph, then that graph could be used for other game objects as well. So for our example, we'll be creating a graph script machine as a source. We'll click on new. Let's type in player as the name. Once you click on edit graph, the Unity will be loading all the packages that are required for the visual scripting graphs. Let me just bring it over here. Oh, wait. Yeah, let's full screen now. So now this is the graph that was created. When we open it, we can see there are two events. The first one is on start event and the second one is on update event. These are similar to the functions that are there if we move the object through script. So this resembles the on start function or the start function, and this resembles the update function. So on start will only be called once when the game is loaded or started, whereas on update will be called for each and every frame. So for making the object jump, we can use the onUpdate function. Now, there is one more node or event that we can use for making the player game object move left and right. That's fixUpdate event. Now, before we check for fixUpdate, let me just show you or explain you how we can search for other nodes as well apart from onStart or onUpdate. So we'll simply right click on here, click on add node. Now you can see there are multiple options provided by Unity. Now we want to search for fixUpdate. So I'll just type in fixUpdate. There's it. Now let's talk about the scenario. We want to move this game object either left or right from our keyboard input. So if I'll press A or if I'll press the left arrow key on my keyboard, then this game object should move to the left side. If I'll press D or if I'll press the right arrow key, then this should move on the right side over here. How we can do this? So first thing that we need to figure out is how we can move this game object from a particular node. So there is a specific node that we can utilize, which is called as set velocity. Because it's a 2D game object, that's why we have to use this one. Now this takes reference to a particular game object. So this is the reference because we want to move the player game object itself. So this is for the current game object. This takes a vector like x or y values. We want to move our game object in the x direction, so we have to pass the x values over here, and those x values should be based on the input that we are sending. So if we are keep on pressing, let's say if we are pressing A, then it should constantly move to the left side. If you're pressing D, then it should constantly move to the right side. How we can do that? Let's just search for our input system now. We'll click on input. Then over here we can see this node, get axis row, axis name. I'll click on it. Over here I'll type in horizontal. Make sure the name is correct and where this is coming. So if you go over to edit, then project settings, then under input manager you have the axis. So these are out of the box. When I say out of the box, that means by default these comes. Over here we can see the value. So if we are pressing left arrow key, then it's moving to the negative direction. If we are pressing right, then it's moving to the positive direction. Same for A and D. Just make sure the name is correct. Now once this is pressed, what we need to do is we need to multiply the value. And one more thing, the output of this node will be having values ranging from -1 to 1. You can see from here the result is float and it will range from -1 to 1. Now what we need to do is we need to multiply the values with a scalar value, or let's say 5. So we want the velocity of the game object to be 5. It could be in the -5 or it could be in the +5. Now we want to pass this value over here, but now you can see this only takes the input as a vector. So first we need to create a new vector for over here. Create vector. Now I can pass this value. Now let's test it out. So I'm pressing D, is going there. So our movement is working fine in the left or right direction. One thing that I notice is the cube or our square was moving in the y direction really slowly. How we can fix it is we can simply pass the y value based on the current velocity of the game object. So if I'll type get velocity, so this node will output the vector values of the current velocity of the current game object, but we only want the y value, so we'll do get y of vector 2, pass it. Now if we'll try, you see it's much faster now. So our game object or player object is moving left and right correctly. So now let's talk about how we can make this game object jump. So for jump, we actually can't use, or we should not use, the onFix update, because this will run on a fixed interval. That interval could be 1 second or more than that as well. But for jumping, we need to get the input in an instant, and we should not wait for the interval, right? So because onUpdate function runs for each and every frame, so that's why we'll use this one for making our game object jump. How we need to do is, once we press the space key, then the game object or the player object should jump. So now I'll check for input. Then there is this node, get key down, then key. In the key we'll select space. Now this will return a boolean value. If the space key was pressed, then this will return true. If it was not pressed, then this will return false. Now we need to check whether it was true or not. How we can check? We can make use of one more node called as if. So over here we'll pass the boolean values that is coming from this node over here. If the value coming from this node is true, then we want to make our game object jump. How we can do? Again, we can use the same rigid body set velocity node, this one, and now we need to pass the y value instead of x. So we'll do the same thing that we have done over here. We'll first create a vector. Over here we'll pass, let's say we'll pass 5. We'll do one more thing. We'll fetch the value of x from the current velocity. So we can use the same node which contains the current velocity values, like the x and y values for the current velocity. We'll get x from here and we'll pass it over here. Now let's try. You can see it's moving left and right as well as it's jumping. So this is our player movement completed without writing a single code. There are few more adjustments that we can do is, the first one would be for creating variables instead of passing these values over here, or hard coding the values for the speed as well as for the jump force. How we can create variables in Visual Script? So there are multiple types of variables. Those could be graph, object, scene, app, shape. So for our example, we'll be creating object, because if we'll create the object variables, so those will be coming over here, this section, and we can make, or we can change the values directly from the inspector window, and we don't want to open the script graph. So now let's create it. Let's call it move speed. Click on plus, then select the value or the type. Now the value, we'll create one more, jump force type as float, value as 5. Now how can we access the values of these variables over here? I'll click on this node. Now I can search for the variable name, move speed. We want to get the move speed value, so I'll select this, and the same for y. I'll just type in the name, then get jump force. Like this. Now, if I go back in the player, I can see these variables are coming or visible under the inspector for this component. Now let's run it. Space, jumping, correct, perfect. If I'll change the value from here, now it's jumping higher. If I'll change the speed, it's moving faster. Perfect. So that's it for this video. In the next video, I'll be covering more concepts or more things, more nodes that are there for the visual scripting. Yep. So we'll be talking about other things in the next videos. I'll be getting more videos related to the visual scripting. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you soon. Bye.